share our opinion on something other than the weather.
And it's none other than Brew Day today, a day where we get to find out more about local brews in town.
And today we welcome Dylan from Dialectic. Thank you so much for being here, Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought the Guava Kween I.P.A, Queen with a K, by the way. Can you tell us why it's called that? First of all, I love the stories behind the names of your beer.
Yeah, so I had a friend, she's been pestering me for a long time to brew a guava beer because she's a guava fanatic. And I asked her what style of beer she'd like that guava added to. She really wanted an IPA. Her name is Krista, so I figured the Guava Queen had to have that K in there to pay a little homage to her. So
how cool is it to be named, have a beer named basically after you?
We were just saying we want a song written about us.
Yes.
I think a beer named after you is even cooler, possibly. But what can you tell us about what goes into it and what you want people to get out of tasting it?
Yeah, so this one, it's going to be a little bit of a new take on a hazy IPA. Typically, hazy IPAs have a little less bitterness, and you get that really juicy, fruity character. I wanted to get all that juicy, fruity character, but still have that hop bitterness come through. So it is a pretty heavily hopped beer, and then this 100-gallon batch of it does get 180 pounds of pink guava puree. So you'll definitely get that nice fruity guava character, and then the hops give it a little bit of kind of stone fruit, peach, apricot flavors like that coming from the hops as well.
Amber, you had mentioned you like when your IPA is fruity.
Yeah.
And you got that out of there.
If I'm going to get adventurous and get an IPA, I have to have it, you know, when they say juicy or hazy, that's my kind of IPA. And so when I heard the Guava Queen was an IPA, I thought, well, you know, I'm going to like that. And I did. And then what I found fascinating is what you just said, 180 pounds worth of pink guava puree put in this. That to me is probably the more fascinating part, is the things that they put in this, because you have this beer, you go to this bar, you have a beer, and you don't think about what they do on the, you know, on the inside of this beer. I mean, this was brewed, I believe, what, yesterday? Is that why it says 218 on it?
That's when it was canned up.
When it was canned.
Yep, this one it just got done brewing and came on tap. I believe it was on last week Saturday.
So
it just went on tap. So it is a very, very fresh batch.
Yeah, and so that stuff really fascinates me, just what goes into it. Whenever you come in and say, oh, I made an apricot beer. Literally apricots are put in this beer. It's not like a flavor compound that you're putting together. I love that, and I think that was the coolest part of this whole beer, all the puree that goes into it.
And he also mentioned, this is really funny, that it's a pretty beer. Is that what he said?
Yep.
What does that mean? I was like, a pretty beer, I like that.
I just love a really good, because we eat with our eyes and we drink with our eyes too. So I love something, it's just got a really, really nice kind of orangish gold color, and that haze in there is just perfect. It's just opaque enough. It's not super cloudy, but just opaque enough to really let it shine, so.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Dylan, for telling us all about that pretty beer, Guava Kween IPA. This has been Brewday, and if you'd like to sample it for yourself, Dialectic Brewing Company is located at 416 West Main Street in Mandan, North Dakota.
Maybe a good weekend activity to go try some more beer. But keep it here. Coming up next, it's been so bitterly cold lately, but what does that mean for ice fishing?